Hey guys, welcome back. My name is Olympia. I go by Oli. If you're joining me here for the first time, welcome. I'm glad that you are here. And if you're a returning viewer, I appreciate you. I thank you so much for choosing to spend your time with me. Today is May 5th. It's around 7 p.m. I'm in Southern California in the USA, and it's around sunset time. So the lighting is kind of changing here as we speak. I wanted to go ahead and record a podcast today. This is the only chance I pretty much have. So I wanted to head and take advantage of it. So let's jump into it. This podcast today, I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about any finished objects, any works in progress, and a little bit of spinning, and a little bit of life. So I hope you are enjoying your day, whatever it is that you're doing, whether you're crafting or getting your chores done. I am glad that you can join me here today. I am also trying new mics today. This is the second time that I record um, an English podcast. I actually recorded a couple days ago, both in Spanish and in English, only to come to find out that my mics seem to be not working properly anymore. So we're trying some new ones today, and I hope that you can hear me loud and clear. Today, I am going to be showing you guys a couple of finished objects. So let's go ahead and jump right to it. The first finished object here that I'm going to be showing you is my shawl that I recently finished. This is a design by Beagle Knits. And of course, I haven't woven in my ends, but it is finished. This is called Poetic Reason. And I kind of modified the shawl a bit here. If you can see that stitch marker right there, that's where I was last time. So I repeated a brioche repeat, and I did the lace in brioche as well. I started running out of yarn for the brioche lace motif. I was like 2 rows short. So I went ahead and picked up my color A, which is the blue one, did a couple of garter rows, and then bound off in I-cord. I didn't want to do it as big as the pattern because I just didn't want to add a different yarn to it. I decided that it was a good size for it, and I finished it a little bit early on. But I love how it turned out. Really nice. And this is my first finished object for today. I did the fingering version for this project. I had started the DK version, which is now off my needles, but to frog. After I started the DK version, I was not like completely 100% in love with the yarn choices. So I decided to cast on this fingering weight version. So that is my first finished object today. My second finished object is my baseline cardigan. This is a cardigan by Sosu Knits. And I just have to put the buttons on it. I am loving the way this turned out, the way it fits, and it's so cozy. I did this sweater with some of my hand spun yarn. So the contrasting color, this one, is all hand spun. The yellow green one is not hand spun. So I decided to, for the sake of having enough yarn of my hand spun, I decided to kind of give it a little bit of a break here. Dexter, my cat is making noise. Hold on, guys. Okay, he was going crazy with the carpet over there. Like I was saying, I decided to give it a little bit of a break here and then restart the sequence for the striping. I love that it has this slip stitch detail to it. And on this opposite side, it has a different hand spun. I did the V version and I just need to add 3 buttons to it. And I'm losing light now. Yeah, I really love how this turned out. I really enjoyed the construction of this design. I've noticed that she has a lot of patterns that are constructed different than what we're usually used to. This is constructed, you start with a provisional cast on here and you construct it knitting, knitting this way, knit the back piece, then you pick up stitches to start the other side of the back piece, and you start the front panel and eventually join on one of the side seams. Goodness. I wanted to sneeze and then it kind of like a little bit of a yawn got me at the same time. My apologies. Um, so yeah, this is my second finished object here. My third finished object is some hair accessories that I was doing for my niece from Woolen Pine, the Cottage Accessories. I did 3 bows for her and a hair tie. I don't have them with me because I just gifted it to her like 2 days ago. I'm still working in a couple more bows and ties for her. But in the meantime, I will be showing you a picture here of what those look like. I really enjoyed making them. And as a matter of fact, I kind of want to make some for myself. It's a perfect project for any scrappy yarn that you may have to use those leftovers. All right. My fourth finished object here is some granny squares that I've been working on. I don't know if you guys recall, but I have an ongoing long project of a granny square blanket. So these are some squares that will be going towards that blanket. And I'm following Nitty Natty's pattern for granny squares. I'll put the information here below. But this is how the first one looks. Have it moving in the ends. There it is. And I'm using just double strands of fingering of any fingering yarn or 1 strand of DK because I'm making like a DK version. This is the second one. And this is the third one. I love being able to look at the yarn and just recall, okay, I used that one. Like for example, I used this one to make a little chihuahua for my nephew. And I just love being able to recall where I used that yarn. And that will bring us here to our whips. But I did want to ask you guys, because talking about blankets, I do have an ongoing project for my imagination quilt by Mima Makes. And I have been doing those squares, but they're tiny squares that you eventually put together to make a bigger square, like this one. This was the first square I did for my imagination quilts, but it's composed of so many different little squares. So I wanted to know, do you guys want to see the squares as I put them together? I think that would be the most ideal thing to do, because I have been working on a ton of little squares, and I have 2 sets of squares right now that I just need to seam together to make the bigger squares. But I find that it takes me a little bit longer to do that. Like, I feel like it takes forever. So I have been working on this project, but I just need to put the squares together to make the quilt piece. But I don't know how to go about showing you guys that. I guess I'll show you guys as I finish a big square. Yeah, that makes more sense. Sorry, I'm just thinking about that right now as I'm talking to you guys. Okay, before we move into whips, let me show you guys my finished hand spun, we'll call it. I like to spin some fiber. I have an e-spinner, the EEW 6.1. And just recently here, I was spinning some fiber to participate in the John T. Knit Along by Andrea Mowry. And I spun 3 braids together. The first one that I spun was a merino silk bamboo blend. It was 50% merino, 25 silk, and 25 bamboo, and the colorway Chelsea. I also did a braid of 100% cormo from Craft Me Not in the colorway Lavender Latte. And the last one that I did was a braid by Haughty Bohemi Fibers. I hope I'm not butchering that. But that was 100% Polworth in the Gothic Romance colorway. So basically, I picked 3 braids that had similar colors, which in this circumstance, the main color that was standing out was like pinks and purples. And I did a 3-ply yarn, which means I spun them individually and I held 1 strand of each to spin them together and make a 3-ply, a yarn that has 3 strands, if that makes sense. And this is what I ended up coming up with. I love that looking at it in different angles, you can kind of see different colors pop up a little bit more. Like, I feel like on this one is more of the pinks. This one's more of the purples. Okay, I turned on my lighting here in my room because I'm losing light. But like I was saying, in this skein, you're good. And that was my daughter in my room trying to be quiet. In this skein here, I feel like the purples popped up a little bit more. But it like really depends on how you see these skeins, because once I undo this skein, you can see different colors. Now, I had some leftover of 2 of the braids, and I did a 2-ply, and this is how it looks. You could see a lot more of the grays and purples on this one. So I just love how this turned out. This is going to be becoming a jaunty shawl. And I think the knit along goes on till June or July. I need to double check that because we're already in May, and that means I would have to cast on pretty soon here. But yeah, I'm really loving my hand spun here. All right, now we can officially move into whips while I work on this granny square. And I guess I'll just talk to you guys about this square I'm doing. This is my next square for my granny square blanket. I'm doing it with this leftover yarn in fingering that has this beautiful stellina in it. It's looking super nice. And that is going to be another square for my blanket. I don't have like the colorway name. It was a yarn from Hobby Lobby. But like I said, I used it in one of my projects and it's whatever was left over. And I'm just using those to make squares. I usually hold my leftover yarns. I put it in Ziploc bag and I just pick a color and do the next square from there. Okay, so that's my whip there. I have a couple whips here. I also have another hair accessory that I'm making. Again, this is the Cottage Hair Accessories from Woolen Pine. And I'm just using leftovers of this Magneta color. It's looking more pinkish here, but it has a purple tone to it. And I'm currently working on a bow. I got to do a couple more rows, and then basically you will end up tying it together with some of this yarn. You do a couple strands, wrapping it around, and it makes the cute little bow. I have it here in my flamingo bag. I also have the other colors that my niece wants, which is like an off-white color in this yarn that I used to make her a mini bow, a small bow. She really loved it, so she asked me to do a tie from that. So that's my whip. Okay, my next whip is my dress, which is the Dulce dress by Camille Knits. This is a pattern that is only available in Spanish, so my apologies. And this is what it is looking like, if you remember from the previous times I've showed you guys. It's a yarn art yarn that I've been using that changes color. Last time that I showed it to you guys, I was like right here. I had a removable marker, but I took it off because I just blocked this the other day. I finished the whole ball of yarn, which looks like this. So pretty. And the dress was already to my knees. Let me show you. I finished with that deep red burgundy color. I wanted to go ahead and block it, see if it grew a little bit in length, but it more than likely just grew widthwise, not lengthwise. I was already like so ready to get this off my needles, hopefully have it ready for Mother's Day or for my anniversary, which is a couple days after Mother's Day, but I still got a long way to go. So needless to say, I added the second ball of yarn, and I am continuing to work on that. That is my my third whip. And let me get my basket here. I have this Little Red Riding Hood basket that I usually keep in my living room with some of the projects that I want to focus on. This third project is a free pattern. This pattern is called, I'll put the name here because I wrote it wrong. I was calling it Top Margarita, but it has a slightly different name. I know Margarita is in an asterisk. And I'm using this leftover yarn that I have here. This is kind of like a fabric-like yarn that I used to make a clutch not too long ago. I'm also using leftovers of this cotton from Hobby Lobby that my mom gave me. And I'm using this Cascade yarn cotton that I had in my stash. The line is Avalon in that blue color. So I don't feel like I'm going to have enough for the top in this color. So I decided to use the other colors to kind of maybe start making some stripes. And I feel like I'm entering my stripey season. And this is what the top is looking like. I have separated for knitting in the round. It has this super cute detail here that gives it a nice finish, almost like if it was ribbing. And I'm this much into the body from the underarm section. So far I've only done one stripe here. I don't know how many stripes I'm going to be adding because I'm trying to kind of calculate if I'll have enough for the body, for the full body in this main color. Let's see. Hopefully I don't hit my mic. Right now, I am maybe like 2 inches after the bust. So we will see how many stripes I add to this. I might add maybe another 1 or 2 to the body here just so that it doesn't look too weird, because right now where this stripe lays is like right on my bust area, and I was just wondering, like, why did I put it there? Why didn't I do it like a little bit higher or maybe after the bust? I don't know. I guess I'm just being weird about it. Anywho, I saw my friend make this pattern and it reminded me of the Sabai top that everybody's been knitting. I've had that in my to buy list of patterns, and I saw my friend knit this and I thought it was just such a good alternative for the Sabai top, and it's even better that it's free. So I don't have to spend unless I really need to. And of course, Dexter wants to join. This is my cat, Dexter. He was joining me earlier in my Spanish podcast, and now he wants to join for this video I'm recording. In case you guys see any movement or hear any noises, I have 3 cats with me here in my room. All right. The next top that I started, I'm trying to get some summer tops here done and going. This one I'm also using scraps of bamboo. I have my bag here full of scraps in bamboo yarn. I'm making the blue sand top, which is also another free pattern. I'm making the size 5 of this pattern. And I forgot to say, for the previous pattern, the Margarita one, I'm making a size 4 on US 9 needles. And for this one, I'm making the size 5 with US 6 needles. And this is what it's looking like. Isn't it beautiful? I'm having so much fun using scraps. Ask me later when I have to weave in all those ends what I think about it. So this is what the front looks like. I just joined to knit the body in the round, so I don't have that much done after. And this is what the back looks like. As you can see, it's a little bit different, but I'm totally okay with it. I was kind of playing around with the width of my stripes and many different things until I found the one that I like the most, which is this sequence. So I'll just kind of continue that way. And of course, it's bamboo, it has such a nice drape to it. And I'm really enjoying this one. And like I mentioned, this is also a free pattern. So it's perfect for all those scrap yarns that you have. Dexter, what are you looking at? All right. And the last two summer tops that I casted on are in this cheetah print bag. And I think basically most of these bags I made them. I used to have an Etsy shop. I don't anymore, but just in case you're wondering. Okay, this one here is Dexter's favorite color. This is also a free top on Ravelry. It's called Bamboo Summer Top. I will put the information here below so that you can see the designer's name. And this top, hopefully you can see because it's black. This top is knitted bottom up, and it starts with some lace motifs at the bottom. Hi, Dex. And then most of the body is just plain stockinette in the round. So right now I'm a couple of repeats in to the lace. Dexter's trying to fight with his sister. Okay, as I was saying, I'm a couple of repeats in to the lace motif. I have a couple more to go, and then I will be knitting in just plain stockinette in the round. So yeah, I wanted to make it in this super nice drapey bamboo yarn that I got at Michael's. And my plan with these tops were to get them past the parts where I needed to pay attention, and maybe get them to the point where I'm just knitting in the round or knitting plain stockinette. That way it's just kind of like mindless knitting. So I still need to get these last two to that point. So we have that one, and the other one in the last summer top that I have is in this beautiful color. It's the papaya color. It's a Michael's yarn as well. Let me see if I have the tag. Yes, I do. Okay, this previous one that I showed you guys in black, it's the Loops and Thread Silky Soft, which is rayon from bamboo. And the tag looks like this. Okay, and the one that I have right here now is the Loops and Threads Heathered Bamboo Blend. And the color is Papaya. It's a blend of 53% acrylic and 47% bamboo. This is what it looks like. And that's what this blend is. For this one, I'm making the Belfalas pattern by Melanie Roundtree. And it's also knit bottom up. The bottom is composed of this beautiful cable-like ribbing, I would like to say, or edge. And then you will pick up stitches at the top and knit in plain stockinette. until you get to the straps eventually, which will be a type of braid that you will end up doing for the straps. I knit this pattern for my daughter a while ago, and I've had the adult pattern in my library, and I decided it was a good time to cast it on for this summer. And that one I'm doing in size 8 needles. I didn't write down what size I'm making, but I believe I do have it in Ravelry. All right, let me hurry up because I'm losing light. All right, the next pattern here that you guys have seen is my woolen pine pullover. Yeah, my woolen pine pullover, which is called 3 Seasons. And I have knit maybe about 3 inches on this. And I'm working on the back panel. And this is what it is looking like. There is the little stitch marker where I was last time. And that's how much more I've knitted. I'm really enjoying this pattern. I haven't changed my mind on it. I have just had to put it on the back burner a little bit because I've been working on other things. One of those things is a cardigan that was passed on to me to finish. It was a cardigan that my mom wanted to make a couple of years ago, maybe 4 to 5 years ago. It's called Cabin Life by Joji Locatelli. We started it together. I wrote down the instructions for her in Spanish because this pattern is only in English. And she never finished it. So I finished my cardigan, and she has been asking me if I could finish it for her. So I finally gave in and said I would take on the task. And I just recently picked it up. This is the color that I'm using. This is a color that, or a yarn that we got in Joann's a couple years ago. I know that Michael's has it. It's the, I believe it's Lion Brand, the Hometown line. I don't recall the colorway because I don't have a tag for it here. And this is how much has been knit already that my mom knit. Right here, where you see this marker, is where it was and how much I've knit on it. So maybe 1.5 inches that I've worked on. This is the front panels. And of course, she said that she wants it to be longer. She wants it to go past her hips. And yeah, we got quite a bit of work to do on that one. I'm hoping to be able to finish this one by her birthday, which is the first day of September. So I have a couple deadlines here. She was knitting this in straight metal needles, and that was one of the first things I did was put it on circular needles because that's not me. I can't knit on straight needles. Let's see, what can I tell you about this? I had to figure out where she was, what row she was on, if I needed to do cabling or not, because she didn't give me no notes. She was just like, here, finish it for me. So that's been fun. Okay, I believe that is almost it for my whips. Okay. And because I didn't have enough projects going, I decided to start another project. Let me take off my cardigan because I'm getting a little bit hot here. Okay. Yes, I decided to work on my goal of learning Tunisian crochet. I have watched some videos on YouTube from Tony Lipsy, learned a couple of stitches, and I decided to start one of her patterns that is available free on Ravelry, and then also you can buy a paid version as well. It's called the Lamia Wrap. I'm using a hook 6.5 millimeters, and I'm using this yarn from Karen, the 1 pound, and the sunflower colorway. Let's see. And this is kind of what it's looking like. This is what this pattern is looking like. It's kind of a little bit stiff right now. I think it'll definitely loosen up after I wash it. But one of the things that I have been trying to be consistent on is trying to knit looser in Tunisian crochet. If you don't know, Tunisian crochet is kind of like a combination of crochet and knitting in one. So you don't get like the openness that you get in just crochet, but you get more of like a knitted fabric that's a little bit more close. The hooks look like a crochet hook. Some of them can be a little bit longer. This specific one has a cable with a stopper. I got myself a set on Amazon that was like $30 or $35, and it comes with this really nice case and a set of blue hooks. And it even comes with like some really nice scissors. So one of the things that I have to be like super conscious about is trying to be a little bit more looser, which has affected me in my crocheting. As I mentioned before, I'm doing the granny square blanket, and I'm also working on the imagination quilt, which is crocheted squares. And I've noticed that my squares were turning out bigger than they should have been. So I've been having to kind of change things around a little bit, or change hook sizes because of that. I haven't seen that this has affected my knitting tension so far. But yeah, that's something interesting that I noticed when I was learning this new skill. Pretty happy with learning Tunisian crochet. Like I said, that was one of my goals, that I wanted to learn Tunisian crochet, and I'm kind of glad that I got it done earlier in the year. But yeah, this is going to be a shawl that I'm going to be gifting to an elderly lady from church. I have a lot of ladies that I would like to knit some shawls for, that are always complimenting my shawls that I take to church, because I usually always take a shawl to church. So I'm hoping I can knit some shawls for them, and this will be one of them, hopefully. My last whip, if I'm not mistaken, I know there's something that I'm working on that I don't have here. That's one of my whips, but I will show you guys that next time, I mean. But my last whip here is some of my spinning. After I finish spinning these 3-ply yarn, I started spinning this Tweety yarn from Kira Wiggins. This is her tag. Kind of hard to see because it's kind of like it's just embossed. Anyways, it's from Kira Wiggins. This is the Rainbow to Pay It's 50% Blueface Leicester, 40% American wool, and 10% viscose. And this is what it's looking like as it's spun. So I spun the first bobbin and I just had a little bit left to finish the second bobbin, and I actually just finished it like a couple minutes ago. So this will be a 2-ply, maybe giving me like a decay to worsted. So I will go ahead and spin these two together to give me a 2-ply. As you can see, it doesn't seem like it's a ton, but it'll give me a decent skein. I want to make maybe like some gloves with this. But yeah, I will be spinning that together after I finish here. And that's it, guys. That is it. I do thank you so much for joining me here today in my knitting shenanigans. I hope not to start any other project. I need to get some of these projects off my needles. I'm at that point where it's making me a little bit like, I don't know, anxious to have so many things on my needles. So it's that time to start finishing up projects here. I do thank you so much for joining me here today. Please like and subscribe or comment. I love hearing where you're watching me from or seeing your comments. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to subscribe, and that way you will get notified whenever I record. I'm trying to record a little bit more frequent right now that I'm not doing much work. And yeah, this will bring us to the live portion of the podcast. If you are not interested about hearing that, that's totally okay. Thank you so much for joining me. And if you do want to hear a little bit about what's going on, thank you so much. Let's get started with that. Okay, as far as life, not much has been going on other than gearing up here to finish the school year. As you guys know, I homeschool my kiddos, and we have about a month left in school. The last day of school for us will be June 3rd. So we're just gearing up here to finish the school year. That's giving us a little bit more opportunity to go out as a family. As a matter of fact, yesterday we went to the zoo, to the LA Zoo, and it was pretty fun. Even though I have kiddos that are at that age where they're going in the teenager years, it was a fun time. Other than hearing their, I'm tired of walking comments. It was a nice time as a family. My mom joined us, my sister and her family joined us, so it was nice. We went out to eat afterwards, so I'll see if I can share some pictures at least of animals and maybe my kiddos. I don't really like to post much of their faces on social media, but at least you can see some pictures of the beautiful animals that they have. They had several babies at the zoo this time. There was a total of 3 chimpanzee babies, which were the cutest. The mamas and the whole tribe being very protective of the creepy people watching them. But I got some cute pictures of that. And there was also a baby orangutan that was there. Super cute. So it was nice to see baby animals. It was definitely a good time that we spent there. That's going to give us a little bit more time to go to the zoo because we have a yearly membership to the zoo. We also have a membership to the aquarium, so we're going to be heading there hopefully soon. We recently went on a hike to the poppy um, fields here near us. It's basically like a place where they have like state flowers that just bloom. Tons of people come to this area to get some good shots, good pictures with those flowers. And unfortunately, the day that we went, it was super windy. It was definitely challenging to do the hike because it was so windy. But we still went and made the best of it. I'm not sure if I even took pictures because of how windy it was. But yeah, we've been getting a lot more activities going. I've been trying to go out on walks if I can, being conscious and listening to my body, how my body feels. Um, because, like I mentioned, I had to have back surgery about almost 2 months now. Um, I'm feeling better every day, but I still struggle with doing things and doing a little bit too much in specific, that I have to remind myself that my body's not quite there yet. It's going to take some time to heal. I have quite a bit of nerve damage that I had that's going to take even longer um, to heal. It's really affected the left side of my leg, or my left leg. And recently, as I do things, my body reminds me uh, that it's not fully there yet. I get some pain and discomfort. I recently started physical therapy, so that was fun. I had like a 20 to 30-minute session of physical therapy, something that you would say, oh, wow, that's easy peasy, like easy exercises. But I've lost so much strength in my left leg that I have a lot of work to do. And after I finish with the session, because they focus on my strength for my back and also for my left leg, after that session, I was done for. And it took me like 3 days to recover from that. So I'm going to continue to do physical therapy here at home, maybe like every other day. That reminds me that I have to do it today, as a matter of fact. And just listening to my body. I decided to get some gardening done. I thought I wasn't going to do it this season. It's a little bit late in the season to start my garden. But I have been feeling much better, that I decided, hey, let me go ahead and give it a try. So as a matter of fact, today I planted some strawberries and some blueberries that I had gotten at Sam's Club. And I'm working on cleaning my garden area. I planted half of my garden area. I planted some zucchinis, spaghetti squash, cantaloupes, and watermelon. But by that point, my body was hurting and my surgery site was hurting. So that was a time where I was like, okay, my body's telling me to stop. So we stopped for the day, or I stopped for the day. And maybe hopefully tomorrow, if I can, or later on this week, I will work on the second half. I plan to plant some cucumbers, green beans, peas, stuff that my family enjoys eating. And I need to see if I can get some tomato plants, because tomatoes take a long time to start from seed, and I'm kind of late in the season. But yeah, I will be having my checkup here with my surgeon next Monday, because I have to be having follow-ups with him so he can see how everything is going, if I'm experiencing any issues after starting physical therapy. Right now, my main problem is my hips. because if you guys recall, I shared with you guys that I had a torn, a labral tear in my hip, in my right hip, and I have been struggling with that for a little bit over a year. I've just been dealing with that, doing physical therapy and wearing a special belt to help keep my hips in place. But because of my back surgery, I'm restricted from bending, from twisting, and from lifting more than 5 pounds. And I have to move a certain way in order to avoid twisting and bending. And all those different ways that I have to adjust and do things irritate my hip or irritate my hips. So my hips have been very angry and very aggravated. At this point, my left hip as well is hurting me, and it's locking itself. When I do certain movements, my joint locks itself, and to unlock it, it can be pretty painful. But my right hip is the one that's the worst right now. I was going to have an appointment with the orthopedic at the end of this month, but they actually just called me a little bit ago and told me that they can see me this week, which I'm thankful for. The plan is to see what's next. My orthopedic had mentioned doing some injections straight into the joint, which is really painful. But he honestly told me that from what he's seen, that doesn't really seem to help people. So I need to see what's the next step for that, because I don't want my left hip to get even worse. So yeah, that's the whole that's the whole shenanigans going on with my body. My body's just angry, and we're trying to balance it all out. In the meantime, I've been doing some baking. I have some sourdough, so I like to do sourdough bread, sourdough donuts, sourdough pancakes. Maybe I'll share some pictures here with you guys. Sourdough cookies. So it's like, okay, I can't do much, but I can eat. Yeah, not going too well for me here, but hey, whatever we can do, right, to bring a little bit of joy into our lives. I do need to get some more activity in to balance that out for sure. But yeah, that's pretty much it of what's been going on in my world over here. Just staying busy, spending time with family, and enjoying some baking whenever I can. And yeah, taking it one day at a time. I do appreciate you guys hanging out here with me. Oh, another thing that I forgot to mention, I've been fostering a mama cat and her kittens. I rescued her from my parents' area where they live. She was very pregnant at that point. I don't even know if I talked to you guys about this last time. But since then, she's had her kittens. She had 6 kittens. At this point, they're a little bit over a month, and they're all over the place. They are full of energy, crazy, and I love it. I go in there and I sneak in whenever I can, and I grab them. They come all over me. They want to hang out. The mama has been a little bit more accepting of us, which is really nice to see how animals can change. We're still trying to, like, respect her space and respect her babies. I know they can be a little bit more more feisty, more vulnerable because they're stray cats. But for this specific cat, she's she kind of noses a bit because she's seen us at my parents' house often, and my mom tends to feed stray cats. Um, and yeah, we're working on finding them homes right now and getting that mama spayed as soon as we can do that. But yeah, that's all the shenanigans we've been up to. I hope that you guys are enjoying whatever it is that you are doing. If I'm keeping you company while you're doing your chores or you're starting your day, I hope that I was good company here. And like I said, don't forget to like and comment here and subscribe if you liked watching this video. And until next time, I hope that you guys enjoy some time doing a little bit of something that brings you some joy. And I hope to see you guys soon. Take care now. Bye.
In this world of chaos and strife, we often face a troubled life. Doubts and fears cloud up our sight, but still we hold on with all our might. The days may seem so dark and gray, and problems come in our way, but deep inside we have to say, there's always hope, come what may. No matter how hard the gale may blow, no matter how deep the sorrows flow, we look ahead, we start to know everything will be okay. The sun will shine another day. We'll find a way, we'll find a way, rise above the fray. We've all been through the stormy night, with tears that fell like pouring tides, but every dawn brings new sunlight, and we can see a better sight. Though the journey may be long and tough, our spirits can't be worn enough. We keep on going strong and rough. Everything will be okay. The stars will light our path someday. We'll make it through. We'll make it through the hardships that we knew.